Hi, dear all. Thanks for coming. The speech is going to be in English. I hope you do not mind. My name is Natalya. I work at Webfontaine, and today we are going to speak about effective business communication, and the topic of my presentation is success through effective business communication. So in the contents, we have the following points. So we'll be speaking about business communication, impact of messages, blocks to listening. So we'll speak about how to practice effective listening, what are the types of messages, rules for effective expression, some barriers to effective communication, and we will sum up this workshop with some essentials of effective business communication. So these are the spheres that I singled out where very actively business communication takes place. So it is the office environment. It is the customer support. It is the sales support spheres. It's the partnership, like when we start, when we want to do business with some other companies, this communication goes on like on the executive level. There is very active business communication within the project frame, in the marketing sphere, and here on this slide, this is a kind of a visual expression of the company, of the individuals, how they are grouped within companies. So the blue circles represent individuals. The individuals, these individuals may be in companies, like in big circles, like company 1, we have company 2. And they may be like either investors or individuals, they are potential customers, or maybe already some customer base of some company. When the company, let's take company 1, wants to do business with some other company, like to start kind of partnership, negotiations, things like this, it may go on the executive level. On the employee level, later on, there may be some procedures, some regulations written, again, negotiations between company employees. The company may need, usually all companies need to contact their customers, their customer base or potential customers, and it is done through customer support division and sales division. And if sales division and customer support divisions, they cooperate very actively with each other, the benefit for the company is much greater. Marketing division, the sphere of marketing, they study their customer base or their potential customers, and later on develop their marketing strategy and go on working like according to that. There is communication, very effective communication within projects, so we will consider like this is the project within the company. People like work there, and there is like internal communication between the internal project stakeholders and communication with external project stakeholders. What is communication in general? Like when developing any application, we do programming. Likewise, while sending some messages, verbal messages, again, we do some programming. And that programming is done according to the environment, the culture of the communicants. So to have communication, we need two communicants. They may be two companies, or just two companies may talk to each other, may communicate with each other through some representatives. If they know each other very well, the communication, the encoding and decoding process of these messages is going to be very, very effective. So there is a sender of the message, a receiver of the message, and if you send some message and receive some feedback, be it positive, be it negative, it is already communication. If you send the message, like marketing departments sends lots of messages, and there is no response, there is absolutely no communication, so they should send the email again and target their customers. What is business communication? The format of this conference allows me to give my definition, first of all, of business. What is business? Well, business, it is people's busyness about some goals around the mission and the vision of the company. We are busy at work, and it is our busyness that makes the business, and it is structured around the mission and the vision of the company. There are some channels, communication channels in business communication, so we'll target business communication channels. We send information through reports, through email compositions, emails, through phone conversations, through meetings, seminars, workshops, through technical documentation, any kind of business-related documentation, and they are the channels through which we send the messaging. Technical applications are also channels of communication, and mostly IT companies, usually that's so, they base their business on developing technical applications, yet technical applications, they are just one channel for communication. And we cannot say that it is not connected with the other channels. And the better we polish, develop the channel, the better is the business, and we can understand if we prepare very good specialists, very good customer support specialists, sales specialists, who are very competent, very experienced in their email writing and telephone writing and business etiquette, things like this, our business image is going to be very high. So these are the spheres. We have already talked about them one by one if we discuss. So we have the office environment, and we cannot deny that nowadays in our modern world, coffee breaks or team building activities are not important. They are of utmost importance for the staff to come together and to discuss even business and come up with some solutions. So the more communication, the more creativity, and the better results. And positive attitude. Customer support specialists have the following motto. They say, we take responsibility for your problem. The most successful companies, they take responsibility for their customers. And the communication skills that they need, these specialists need, are like business etiquette skills, email skills, telephone skills, product service presentation skills, conflict resolution skills, anger management skills. So we may encounter very angry customers, and it's very difficult to be on the other side of the line. So we can see from the pictures, but at the same time, we should keep calm and know how to manage our anger and how to manage the conflict. Communication, message, impact. Every message has got impact, and our Professor Albert Mehrabian, he carried out a research and gave us the following results, the numbers, that verbal communication, like through speech, written communication or spoken communication, it is just the 7%. We do our best to speak like to the point, grammatically correct, to put the logical stresses in the right places, lots of things, but it's just the 7% of the communication, and nonverbal communication makes like 93%. Paralanguage, which is a part of nonverbal communication, it is the pitch of our voice, it is the tone, it is the logical stresses. Body language makes 55%, and we cannot deny that very often we want to do business with people who have very confident body language, so it means they have their goals, they realize their goals, and they know what is the direction they are going, and we would like to go with these people, purposeful, they know what's doing, and they know what they are doing. The picture shows why I put this picture on the slide, to show that like gestures, they speak very loud. They speak very loud, and just judging by this shot, we can say what they are discussing, what is the situation, what it's all about. For example, the guy, the standing man, what is he saying? Sorry? Okay, quite possible. So what are the girls saying? What is their reaction? You have some ideas, right? You have some impressions. We can guess they are complaining. They are not content with what he is saying. And verbal communication has got the listening, speaking, writing, reading aspects, and all of them are present in our business environment, and if we want to be very effective about our communication, we should specifically and certainly concentrate on each of them and work out each of them very well. Listening is an essential skill. We agree that listening is very essential? Yes. Are you a good listener? No. Why? Why do you say you are not a good listener? Sometimes, maybe not always, but sometimes we may be... We are not patient. We like to talk. We talk more than we listen. But they say we have 2 ears and 1 mouth for a reason, and I say we should listen twice more than we speak. Are your interlocutors usually good listeners? You are speaking, you say something, and do they usually listen to you? May you ever notice that their attention is distracted? May happen. Yeah? Sorry? Interlocutor, that's in Armenian, that's հաղորդակցվող, ձեր խոսակիցը. Blocks to listening. When we are not listening or we are not listened to, the following blockers work. A companion is discussing some feature with us or some tool with us, and we start comparing that with something else. It means we are not listening to them. Mind reading. We are not listening to our interlocutor, but we start reading the person's mind. We rehearse very often. We are told something. We are not listening to the person and say, okay, I will tell him this. Later on, he will answer me this. Later on, he may answer this, I will answer this. So it's called like rehearsing, filtering. Very often in our interlocutor speech, we look for the information that is interesting to us and we do not go on. And very often we dream, we advise, we are told something, some topic is spoken to us, and we just stop the person and start giving some advice. And I suggest that we go on. How to practice effective listening. That is quite possible, and listening skills are developed. We can develop effective listening if we paraphrase. For example, our customer says, you know, I need that document by 5 tomorrow. And we say, okay, by 5 tomorrow. That's it. We return one of the same information. We return them the same information saying, okay, so I will contact with the other parties, with the other departments. I will update the information and I will send you the document by 5 tomorrow. We should clarify. We are told something, right? We did not understand. We say, sorry, did I understand you correctly? We should ask, did I understand you correctly? Did you mean this? Giving feedback. The company says, last year we had very good cooperation. We would like to go on cooperation with your company. So we give feedback. We will be very happy because we had really very nice experience. Listening with empathy. If we want to be very good listeners, we need to be empathetic. What does it mean to be empathetic? It means while listening to our interlocutors, we should understand what is the need, what does the person need, what is the danger if I do not listen, if like what the person is saying is not realized, like the request is not realized, and the request, we should know what is the request. So being empathetic, it means knowing what is the need of our interlocutor, knowing what is the danger that our interlocutor is in, and what is the request of the interlocutor from us, and we should take the responsibility for the communication. It means we are very good communicators. Listen with openness. What does this mean? It means there is a conflict. Let's imagine there is a conflict, so it may have happened, right? There is a conflict. The two sides exchange with roles, saying, okay, now I will play your role. So if I can play, it will be very difficult, right? To be on the other side of the conflict. But by rehearsing, the sides start developing openness, saying, okay, Now I understand what are the conditions, what you are feeling. Listen with awareness. This is the cultural part. So awareness, that's İraz Ekutsun. We should know the culture of our communicator, and doing business with some company, we should know, they say you should recognize, you should know your interlocutor. Verbal aspect of communication, there are whole messages and contaminated messages. If we want to speak to the point, or to send very effective, let's say, emails or a kind of piece of writing, we should write about our observations. For example, the tool doesn't work. Then the thoughts. I think it doesn't work because the features are not supported. Feelings, how it makes the user feel, and what are the needs, what needs to be fixed. If either of the points is not present in your message, so we have contaminated messages, very often we are not well understood. And if we are not well understood, we shall go ahead with some questions. Rules for effective expression. How to speak to the point. We should be very direct. If there is a misunderstanding, we should be very immediate. We should be very clear about our expressions, about our wording. We should be very straight. By saying straight, we mean there should be no lies in our speech. And we should be supportive. Barriers to effective communication. So we said it's blocks to listening, ineffective verbal and non-verbal expression in the form of contaminated messages or much talking, emotional and cultural noise. What is cultural noise? We are on a business trip and the culture is new to us. We can understand, like we can be very open, we can empathize and understand, okay, this is noise now, but later on I should understand it, and it will stop being a noise. Why a thing is called to be a noise? Because it hinders you. Emotional noise, right? There may be some emotions in conversations while doing business. Business should deal with only goals. Emotions have nothing to do there. If we go emotional, that's not good. I suggest that we watch this video, which depicts how messages can be distorted. Is everything okay with the internet connection? And I suggest that sorry for the interruption, I suggest that we have a look at the picture, at the slide. So effective communication really starts with care and empathy for your interlocutor, and that is the positive disposition, positive attitude. There is a city in Europe where bus passengers pay the fare, and they realize that they are not paying for themselves, but they are paying for the person who comes just after them. And in this case, they pay one and the same amount of money. But the logic, the philosophy is quite different. They take responsibility and for the communication. Likewise, we should be very supportive about our communication at work, anywhere else. So the tips for effective communication. So we should avoid being right or righteous. We should not make assumptions. We should ask questions directly. Like, did I understand you correctly? What do you mean? What did you mean? We should never criticize, but we may critique. Criticizing and critiquing are different things. If we criticize, we get very personal, and we may say bad things, saying you did not do that well, but we should say, for example, the work was not done well, we can do that differently. And critiquing, it is just opposing the advantages and disadvantages, the strengths and the weak points of the work that was done. Do not get personal when you are not giving positive feedback, especially. We should be empathetic and committed. We should be accurate about our wording, about our language. We should take responsibility for the quality of our communication so that the messages are transmitted, transferred correctly, without any losses. Essentials of effective communication. It is being constructive, it's having positive attitude all the time, it's having a common goal, which is the mission and the vision about the company, throughout the company. We should be very supportive and should be very tolerant. There should be some mutual understanding and mutual cooperation, like throughout all the divisions and like personally. And we should start this effective communication with ourselves, asking us the following questions. Do I need this communication? Yes? No? Yes. If I need it, then why? So what is going to be the positive result, the expected result? Am I a good communicant? If no, what can I do to improve this communication? Thank you for your attention. Do you have any questions? I would like to answer them if you have any, so we can discuss some things. Thank you. Thank you very much.